greatest compliments in the service industry, accounting industry, anything really is that referral, right? Hey, I trust this person.
It's always changing. We always got to pivot. We always got to adapt and overcome.
From what I gather, David, deciding on a CPA for your small business is a very important decision. Welcome back to Small Business Never Sleeps. My name is John Slusser, and this is Nathan Maude, and we're the co-founders of the Indiana Small Business Association and your host of Small Business Never Sleeps.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Today is episode number 5, and we couldn't be more excited. Small Business Never Sleeps is specifically geared towards the small business owner as well as those who represent the small business industry.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about having the right CPA in your corner and how having a proactive accountant can help a small business thrive. Joining us today is David Richardt, Director of Client Accounting Services at BGBC Partners.
Thank you guys so much for being here. So happy. I'm excited to dive into things.
Yeah, thanks, David. So let's just dive right in. David, the audience doesn't know this, but I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a while now. I've only experienced great things, get you in front of my clients. So to kick things off, you mind just sharing with our audience today on who you are?
Absolutely, yeah. So name's David Richardt. So I'm a husband, father of one with one on the way, son, brother,
Congrats.
uncle. Get to do all those things. Yeah, thank you. Originally from Evansville, Indiana. Went to college at Ball State University, graduated in 2010. Had the honor of receiving the 3 Under 30 award from the accounting department there. So really excited about that honor. Yeah, no, great to have that. Been at BGBC my entire career, except for 1 year hiatus. Took that off, went to go work in the corporate accounting world. Had a great experience, but as we'll dive into, really just miss working with the clients, having those conversations about the business. So definitely wanted to come back, and obviously BGBC graciously welcomed me with open arms and got to come back and work with clients again there. Professionally, so I'm a senior manager and director of the Client Accounting Services at BGBC. I run a team with 8 staff, 2 managers. My team specifically works with back office accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, accounting software consulting, process consulting, financial statement preparation and analysis. And really our team overall impact of the firm, we really work with all areas and departments of our firm to kind of give our clients that full service experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And it must be a treat when we have 2 Ball State Cardinals at the table, right?
Chirp.
At the same time,
Now, David, I know you do something in your spare time, do you not? Or maybe used to?
I do. So if I could, I don't like to say if I could do whatever I want to do because I know I can do that. But in a past life, I probably would have been a drummer in a band, or I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy. So check me out, Cracker, sometime. No, I probably won't have the courage to go on stage, but love to be the butt of a good joke. So.
No, that's fun. Well, we are excited to learn more about BGBC and all of your capabilities and how these resources are positioned to help a small business thrive. But before we dive in, how about we just keep going with you? So here's a question to kick things off. Since you're sitting with us here today and not in a band or doing any stand-up on stage, why have you chosen to be an accountant, and really why BGBC Partners?
It all started with me back in high school. I took my accounting classes. I did some accounting competitions. Yes, book nerd here, paper pushing hands. But so I really just kind of loved it from I guess you could say, an early age. And then my experience doing an internship with BGBC Partners, really got to dive in early, get that client experience. The size of firm that BGBC is, right? We've been serving clients for 30 years. We're a 65-member team and growing constantly. Having great growth throughout the years, but it's still that small business like family feel, right? I mean, I could walk into a partner's office and have a conversation with them. So my internship was fantastic, got really great experience, and then just kind of continued from there. So that's why BGBC and accounting. And then I like numbers. I like working with the books. I like to roll up my sleeves and get my paper pushing hands dirty on some QuickBooks cleanup. So bring it on. I love it.
So you selected BGBC. It sounds like you had an internship there. Really enjoyed your time. But you've been there for a while now. So,
yes.
So what are some of those 2-3 things that have kept you at BGBC?
It's definitely the culture. BGBC's had the honor of being a top workplace for the past 4 years. So we definitely pride ourselves in that because that's employee voted, right? So that's our employees recognizing the type of culture and environment that BGBC provides to their employees. We pride ourselves on great client service. So some business may know there's a net promoter score. So we have an 88 net promoter score compared to an industry average 77. Yeah. So we like to say we're killing it in the client service. We really like to dive in there and meet the needs of the business owners.
Awesome. Just looking through some of these notes, David, I see you're part of the BDO Alliance.
Yeah, so BDO Alliance, we're actually a founding member of it.
Okay.
And what that is, so BDO is a much larger accounting firm overall in the accounting industry. But what they put together was an alliance of smaller firms that can basically utilize the resources of BDO itself, as well as the other members of that alliance. And it gives us the local feel with an international breadth of knowledge and resources that we can capitalize on. Much like we get into with the resources of ISBA and other things like that. But so we really, if we have clients in Canada, and we may not be experts in Canadian tax law, right? But we can offer our clients that resource to reach out and kind of use that to our advantage to help our clients.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, David. I'm sure just like all the other industries, small business industries, things are constantly evolving, changing, new technologies, new offerings, and so on. So with everything that's happened over the last year, what are some things that you are doing and BGBC are doing to continue learning in your space and adapting to those new challenges?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's CPE, right? So we have those regulations that we have to get the CPE in, and obviously that's invaluable, right? It's great people leading great conversations, passing on great information about the industry. But with 2020, as we all know, crazy year. Hopefully, we never have to see another year like it.
Hopefully.
But there was a lot of changes, and accountants and advisors had to be on top of those changes, right? So our firm, right, early on, we knew it could have an impact. We knew it was going to impact our clients, right? So we circled the wagons. We dedicated resources within our firm to, hey, CARES Act, Family First Act, break it down, become an expert in this, and really be able to dissect it and then take it to our clients and say, hey, this is how we can help you. This is how we can take advantage of some of this relief aid. So really just, the firm knowing we have to put the non-charge hours in, right? We're busy trying to get work out. It's felt like it's been a never-ending tax season. But I think we're thankful for it. We've been able to help our clients, and that's something as a firm, we've been really happy about. But just the knowledge we picked up, right? We now have that team we can rely on of, hey, go get this done, knock it out, come back and bring something we can take to our clients with on there. Me personally, much like this, like to listen to great podcasts. So I have a lot of podcasts I listen to on my drive to and from work. There's a lot of great podcasts out there sharing great, just accounting industry information, the changes that are coming, right? The new technologies that are out there. And speaking of technology, obviously that's a big piece of just the accounting, the business owner, right? In the world we live in. So there's always some type of new technology out there. So, just when we feel like we have it conquered and kind of worked into our tech stack, as they like to call it, there's always 2 or 3 more out there that you have to research and say, all right, now I have to compare it and I just got this done. But so we really try to stay up on the technology, really see, what is the best application and things to use for our clients to kind of help them there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I think supporting the small business owner, we have to continually learn, grow, evolve, and technology is definitely coming into the fold. And it's not just for larger companies. Small businesses are using a lot of data right now to make decisions. So I can definitely appreciate the continued growth in that space for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey, small business has just naturally been characterized as a price-driven, transactional relationship. It's, hey, this is what I need. Give me a quote. Give me your service and get out of here. And I think we both, Nathan and I'm sure you would agree that small business is much more than just that price-driven, transactional relationship. It's more about a meaningful relationship where, with some of my clients, we've become friends. We spend a lot of time together. What would you say about small business, specifically about relationships, and what's that mean to you?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, kind of in the service industry, it's basically 100% relationships. I mean, if your clients aren't there and don't trust you and like you, they're not going to be there. So you have to have that relationship and foster that growth. And then great service comes from good relationships. If you're not willing to have that hard conversation with me, or I'm willing to have that hard conversation with you, how are we going to grow out of it, right? So I mentioned our Net Promoter Score, and kind of what that is driven on is, we send out surveys to our clients. It's, hey, grade us. How have we done? And then how likely are you to refer someone to us, right? Because I think one of the greatest compliments in the service industry, accounting industry, anything really is that referral, right? Hey, I trust this person. They've really helped me out. They can help you in the situation that you're in. So, that's something that we definitely kind of look into. You mentioned the transactional price-driven part, and that's a hard position to get out of initially, right? we know on our end that there has to be an investment in any relationship. When you first start out, it's just like dating, right? You got to invest the time into it to make it work, right?
Yep.
And that's where we want to start. So we really got to get with the business owner and show that value. In our industry, and I can't remember where I heard this from, but there's kind of this stigma that bookkeeping is raced to the bottom on price, right? How cheap can I get it for? Tax is the necessary evil in life, right? Death and taxes. It's necessary. And then assurance is compliance with the bank, and it's just an overhead cost. So the accounting industry is really behind the 8 ball from the get-go, right? So it really comes to that, and we really try to get out of that and build that relationship, and like I keep harping on, show that value.
Yeah, that's great, David. And it kind of takes me back to the previous question where we talked about how we have to continue to evolve and to learn and to grow. And we really do that to help foster and to grow and to really kind of maintain those relationships that are so meaningful to us in our business. And I'm sure that you would feel the exact same. I know that like my industry, insurance, accounting, it's something that happens every year. There's always a renewal. There's always another cycle.
Yeah.
So maintaining that relationship in between is always most important.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we all joined ISBA because of our passion for small business and that small business owner. David, what is it about small business that you love so much, and why small business?
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned earlier, I've been at BGBC practically my entire career, and I told you I wasn't afraid to get in, get my hands dirty with some cleanup, work with the client, because really with small business, it's understanding the ways we can help the client save money, earn money, and grow their business. And you really get the biggest impact, in my opinion, with the small business owner, right? They're the ones, they're really kind of putting the work in. They may have the good idea, they just don't have the back end of how do I account for this? Like, I have a great product, I have a great business, but I don't know how to pay taxes on it, sales tax, that type of stuff. So getting in there, really making that impact from the get-go is really great with small business owners. And then, for the business advisor, the business impacts we can do with cash flow, right? And last year with the PPP loans, right? That was huge. And Nathan, from the payroll side, right? All the changes to payroll that happened last year, staying on top of that. And small business owners, right? I mean, they're the ones that are impacted by the COVID sick pay and various things like that. So being able to help those clients out and understand the new rules, the laws, tax breaks for them and things like that. You get that impact in small business because they don't have maybe that corporate team behind them that can do that research, right? So that's what I really love about small business.
That's great. So you're joining us on the Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. What do you think about that phrase, small business never sleeps?
I mean, I think it just rings true. I think, just as I started to go down there, right, it's them all the time. Like, they have to be on top, like, unless they find these great partners, which is what it's trying to do for these people. They have to find the time to do the bookkeeping. They have to find the time to do the business development, stock the shelves, right? To start off and get that way and grow that. So it's never sleeping, right? It's every waking hour, you got to be working on your business to make it grow. And then hopefully you get to that point where you can have a solid team behind you of your employees or your partners with an insurance agency, a payroll company, an accountant, a banker, all of these type of things. But it never starts that way, right? It's starting out of a garage. It's starting out of, I built a website and have this great thing. So it's just that constant grind.
Yeah, that's so true. We always say on this show that small business never sleeps. It's that continued salute to the small business owner who doesn't just work 9 to 5. They're working 24/7, 365, continuing to grind. Well, David, I feel like we've spent some time learning a lot about you. We understand why accounting and small business is so important to you, and I'm getting the feeling that you're just a true expert. You understand the industry, and you're focused on growth, and I absolutely love it. But let's jump into more of the CPA side of the conversation. What does accounting look like for the small business owner in 2021 with everything that's happened last year?
Yeah, so I think it definitely looked a lot different. It looked a lot different in 2020 than previous years. And it's looking that way into 2021. A lot of change, uncertainty, and/or opportunity for clients, right? I mean, you not say you hear the bad stories of 2020, but man, there was a lot of companies that had really great opportunities, right? Depending on where you fell in the industry. So it's not all doom and gloom. Those businesses that struggled hopefully got the relief they needed are going to come out of it. So it does look different. And I think the pivot of how is my business going to look in 2021, right? With restaurants, it was, we're takeout curbside now, right? We don't have a lot of dining and things like that. So every industry had something they probably had to pivot in. Like the payroll, as well as I mentioned earlier, that was a big thing that came through. But I think a lot of business owners in 2021, and I know we kind of start out with a whirlwind of great clients in the door, kind of looking for our services, is, we had these clients that they looked at it and said, I feel like I've been saving money by filing my own taxes or doing my own books all these years. But man, like I haven't grown my business. Like I need time with my family. Like I think that brought a lot to the forefront of these small business owners. If I don't have to go it alone, I can find someone else that can help me do these accounting things. So really kind of looking at that and just kind of saying, does it make sense for you to do these things? Or, if you're not doing your books late at night, you could be following up on 10 more emails, getting new clients, right? So how can you outsource that? Utilize those great partnerships, that great breadth of knowledge that's out there to kind of help your business from there. And then, the relief bills, a lot was packed in there, right? So having a good CPA relationship, we took the time, the hours are there. We can show you, right? Diving in, reading these bills, understanding how it impacts, a 2-employee company all the way up to a 100-employee company to a 1,500-employee company, right? There's something there for all of them. I mean, if I was a business owner at night who had to close my doors for a little bit, I had to lay my employees off, now that they're getting unemployment and it's hard to get them back because of, some of the things there. It's now I have to dive in here and understand these tax laws. If I don't have a good CPA, it's come to us, use that knowledge, right? We went to school, got these degrees for a reason. We took all the CPE for a reason. So I think kind of understanding that there is stuff out there that can help you. You don't have to do the research yourself. We put those hours in, come utilize that skill set that we have. And then, like I mentioned earlier, pivoting, getting used to the new norm. What does that look like for your company? What potential opportunities can you capitalize on?
Yeah, that reminds me of the event that we just hosted. It's called Maximizing Small Business Efficiencies, where we really focused on how to put more time and attention back into that small business owner's day, either through resources, pivoting, utilizing partners from ISBA, et cetera. There's so many ways to throw that time and attention back toward, whether that's new clients, becoming more efficient, growing at that scale.
Yeah, and what is it? Work on your business, not in your business, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it boils down to, right? So
exactly.
That's awesome. Well, David, thanks for that insight. I heard the word pivoting a lot and that entrepreneurial mindset. And I believe BGBC adapts to their clients, which is awesome and good to hear, because in the small business market, it's always changing. We always got to pivot. We always got to adapt and overcome. So if I am a small business owner, me as a small business owner, what do I need to ask myself when deciding on a CPA? And what do I need to look for in a CPA coming into my company and helping take that workload off?
Yeah, so I think the obvious yet tough question probably right off the bat is what do I really want to get out of this relationship? One thing I heard on another podcast I listened to was, don't sell me accounting services, sell me blank. Right. And if you let small business owners answer that question, it could be a variety of things. It could be sell me time back, sell me efficiency, these things. It's not sell me a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement.
Good point.
So if you answer that question and take that answer to the CPA, their response is a big indicator of how they view you as a business and as a client, right? If when you answer efficiency, if they don't dive in and say, okay, like, what keeps you up at night? Like, what is the biggest part of your day? Let's dive in. Let me just shadow you for a day. See how your accounting processes work, that type of thing. What are they trying to give you, right? Or are they just trying to get those dollars in the door? So I think that's probably the biggest thing and probably the top of mind that just comes to me. The other thing that we run into and not to harp on people, but it's like, don't start the conversation with your accountant of how much do you cost, right? I've been in the, how much do you cost? I pay $100 for my tax return. Right? You don't want what we're selling. We're not trying to get this race to the bottom on price, right? We want to look to provide that value and give that value and make sure our clients understand the value that we're giving them. And that's why we do the check-ins, right? How are we doing? Grade us, right? We have engagement letters. We can disengage anytime. So we want to make sure you're getting that value out of it, and we work hard to show that value.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, David. I love your guys' approach. It's one of the primary reasons why Nathan and I thought that BGBC Partners would be a great fit for ISBA. It's just that character right there as to how you manage that relationship. But from what I gathered, David, deciding on a CPA for your small business is a very important decision. Share with us some of those BGBC capabilities that you're able to provide to the small business owner?
Yeah, so BGBC is a firm, we really have a wide range of capabilities. It's one thing we definitely pride ourselves in. We're what we call a full service accounting firm. We start from the very beginning of, hey, let's help you start up your company, right? Get registered, all these sales tax type of things. So we can do, state and local taxation items. We can do, obviously, your business and personal tax return. We have our, back office bookkeeping, accounting, consulting type work with, payroll capabilities or finding those resources for you. We have our assurance team that, if you have debt covenants with a bank and you need, account signed off financials, we can do those for you. And then it's the business consulting, the accounting industry as a whole, and BGBC is really shifting to this. And then again, the pivot word, right, is that trusted advisor mindset. We want to be your first call on everything, right? I can't tell you how many calls I get of something that's not even accounting related that I could probably answer for that client, but it's, I need to call, I need to call David. I need to call BGBC. So we really offer our clients a lot of different services and can really, service you from the very start to the very end, and that entire growth period in between.
That's great. So it sounds like BGBC has a ton of capabilities. If I'm a small business owner and I'm used to just getting my books balanced, or are you doing my taxes, what's the difference with working with BGBC, or you specifically?
Yeah, no, and that's great. So, with just getting the financial statements, we have some clients that may be what they want, right? It's that level of service that they want. But if you come to us and say, listen, what is a balance sheet? What do these numbers mean? What does a profit and loss mean? Am I getting the margin I need to? Hey, I'm looking to buy a new building, get a new location. If both of us view it as a transactional, probably neither of us are getting really the most benefit. So, I mentioned earlier, we talk with that client, see what their real needs are. We may shadow you for a day, look through your books, find that out. If at the end of the day you want a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement, that's fine. We can give it to you. But it goes back to, what do I really want out of this relationship, right? So it's, hey, if I'm growing and I'm not ready for that full CFO yet to bring on that salary, BGBC has, fractional CFO type capabilities. We can give cash flow, financial statement analysis. So we can kind of break that down. Clients, sometimes we send them a financial statements and they go, oh yeah, I think this is great, but do they really understand the numbers? So, right. So it's getting with them, what is your balance sheet telling you? Do you have a bankable relationship sometimes? Like, hey, it's, I need to go for a loan because I want to get a new building, right? What are my financial statements telling you? Well, we can walk you through that, right? Are you getting the right, profit margins? Where's your overhead? We have forensic accounting capabilities and business valuation capabilities. So, hey, I'm looking to sell my business in 3 years. Like, get me there. This is what I want to get out of it, right? So we can really do that full a la carte service, full client service. Really, just what do you need? We'll get there. And I think that's one thing with BGBC. We haven't tried to niche down too much. We serve all industries, so we really try to make sure we understand your business and how we can help you.
Yeah, that's great, David. Thank you so much for joining us today on our Small Business Never Sleeps podcast. Next time, Nathan and I will spend some time walking through the journey of a small business owner's path towards success. Don't forget to keep on grinding, because small business never sleeps.